So it is not strange, and it makes me understand God better and better. Why He led me to do that. It wasn't his bad completely. And it's unfortunate Dr. Makam didn't come. I dated him, so I wondered him. He's one of the lecturers at Winnipeg who stood behind me and said, see, even though this is your topic, people don't understand it, but I was stand behind you and you do it. He supervised me for my master's, he supervised me for my PhD. And today, I'm here as one of the summer counselors and the first summer counselor scholar in Ghana. And it has come to stay. It has come to stay that as counselors, we can't do anything without summer counseling. That is why we chose the topic, advancing global innovation, breaking through in counseling practice. Advancing global innovation and counseling practice. What are the innovations? What is your level? Where are you in the level of counseling in the global world? These days, you find they are not coming to face to face. If you go to have a beautiful counseling room to see people coming, you will not get them there. We cannot remain in our house. We cannot remain in our office. So, as part of this maiden summit, we want to bring your attention to three very key things that as counselors, when we leave here, we want to go and do. It is that same direction that led us give the Genesis, the theme for our conference this year. Colleagues, if you are a counselor and you have not learned the skills in digitizing the counseling, and you cannot have professional counseling on phone or your laptop, then please, I'm very sorry to say that you are being left behind. If you feel embarrassed by this statement I've made, then it truly means you be left. Hello. So this presentation is going to take us to the first thing that we need to do, even before enrolling on some of the cyber counseling programs that we will from next year, get more support. In the IT world and in the digital world, we have three main platforms or stages or levels. I want you to find out, examine yourself, which level are you? And find out what you can do. How many of us are practicing? You have to count accountability. Wherever you find yourself, kindly just raise your hand and say, if you are practicing on the house, mental health, you are practicing. Very good. So a lot of us are practicing. Now, when we learn counseling work, I believe that you are changing. When we learn from school, we learn some of the things that we need to do, and we learn them to do them on people. But we want to move away from people. So these are the three things I want to introduce to you. The first one is digitalization. Like I said, I know it's not a new word, in Ghana. Then we have digitalization. Let's say, and the last one is digital transformation. Good. Now, when we talk of digitization. Now, in the situation from here, as soon as you close from here, if you are practicing, the digitization say that at least some of your documents, right, then you keep them in books and then you write them. Now, move all of them into a digital content. That one is the digitization. Hello? So in all wow, you have been taking class notes by writing. Now you need to move from the writing and then get either your laptop or tablet. You can get an IT person if you want to see. We can get that for you. Who will develop a very small app for you that the client's name will be there, the process and all that. So now you will not be in your session with the book, but you have either your phone or maybe small tablet, right? Like half of this machine in front of you, and as the counselor speaks, the client speaks, when they need to jump on something, then you type briefly and then you use. That is digitization. You are taking something that manually you were doing now to the digital world. It will help you because the document will be there. You can save it and take it to your email. So your client's document will never get missing. Like the logbooks that at times they get burned and cockroaches shoot from it. Hello? Are you making some sense here? So that is digitalization. Now, other things like your office, some of your logbooks, all your certificates that they are still there on paper, you scan all of them, you keep it in a folder, you save it and take it to your email. You have digitized your document. Hello? So whenever, anywhere, anytime, if you are asked to show, you have it. Let me tell you an experience I had in Canada. I go through the immigration process and I'll get at the last one, then I will exit. Then they go back. Then they want to watch my document. I gave it to them. Apparently, when we were going, I saw some Ghanaians at the immigration point. They were struggling their registration. So I started to help them. And I think they were about 6. So then they were concerned about me. How is this person that she's there helping a lot of people? So they picked me. They made fun of me. I mean, I said everything. I didn't know my friend told them I'm a lecturer. I'm coming to do a program here in Dubai. Then they said, what shows the election? Apparently, I didn't even know that would come out. So they said, show us your appointment letter. Show us your items. Then they thought just appointment letter. Then you want to see your credentials. What helped me was that I scanned all my certificates. Every document I have, I scanned them. And they were in my email. So I quickly went to my email, downloaded all of them, and showed it. I'm going to check the pictures. I'm telling you about to see how. Digitization is very important. We have gone far from those days that your document, very important document, are still paper. And they are in a cabinet somewhere. From here, take all of them to when they do scanning. If you don't have a scanner, some of the phones there are scanning machine on them. If you can't scan, you can take photograph. Hello, we are digitizing our content. Please, are we okay with the digitization? I can give examples more and more and more and more. When it says digitization is the process by which a business, in this case, council, converts some part of your functions from analog to digital form. How we get it? So all the functions. That's how when we are coming for this program, you see that all the registration is online. Even our program of reading print, we are putting the bill, we display it here for you. That is digitization. It saves time, it saves money. It brings business around you. Now, so that is digitization. Then let's go to digitalization. Now, digitalization is a situation where some of the things that you employ people to do, or you yourself to do, the things that human beings do for you. Now, you are going to allow computer programs, apps, to do them on your behalf. Hello? Of course, there are certain things that cannot do at our level in Ghana. When you go to some development, now when you go to offices, you don't find human beings sweeping. But then you but there are certain things that people do for you. You need to employ more people to do, which you can now get an app to do for you. Marketing is very good, but you can market your program without employing or always employing a marketer. You can build WhatsApp platform, business WhatsApp platform, and then you put your information there. You train it to put on it. So that when someone calls you or send you a message, oh, thank you for contacting TUCEE Institute of Accounting Technology. We do this, we do this, we do this. I hope to get that to you. You must make social media handles. If you are here and with all apologies, you think that social media is from the devil, then you are been deceived. I believe we all move from there. Have you forgotten that the God that we serve is even a wireless God? He brought wireless. It's the internet. We communicate to him wireless, right? Through the air. Please, you can create all your content on the social media, all the handles. You'll be there and you have a contract. You see, our first contract with Compassion International Ghana, where we started looking for counseling, we posted something we had done on our Facebook, and then they saw it and they gave us a contract to do that program for all of our international projects in Ghana. And I believe in some of us, if you should allow you to give testimony, you know how it has become. So you can't ignore it. Our profession, we don't go on time. It's even when you get old, that's what people do for you. You can be as old as you are, and your content will still be on the internet, because the internet does not forget. It will still be there, and people will call you. How will you do it? So the first assignment is that if you don't have social media handle, please, as soon as you close, Go and create some. If nothing at all, start with platform. Because this was happening. If you don't have any of them, start with that. Create your WhatsApp group. You don't use your name. Use your company name. That time I said in one of our programs that if you are a counselor and you have not registered, please go and register. Stop using your name to do everything. Get a brand name. You can use your name and add something to it. Like TUCEE. TUCEE is to do as Cecilia. However, it's to do Cecilia. Then we put it together as TUCEE. So before we started, we are called TUCEE. Then when we registered them, when we used TUCEE, and we realized that no, when people call, that what's the meaning of TUCEE? We can't say to do Cecilia. So God led us. Then we got the meaning, transforming our uniqueness. So transforming T, our uniqueness, through counseling, C, education, D, and empowerment, E. So that's the new meaning of TUCEE from 2013. And that's what we're operating with. So once somebody hears your name, the person knows what to start for. Choose a name that will attract people. And use the name to brand yourself. When you come to the going here, now students call me, they call me TUCEE, and I'm okay. It's intentional. But I'm using the TUCEE to brand myself. Branding, very important. Today, I've won my brand. TUCEE is orange and red blue. That's what I've won. You must specifically brand yourself. And when you do all this, we refer to it as digitalization. Are we together? There are deeper ones that will train you to do. You can also read around as we train or before we train. So, digitalization is the use of digital technology to perform certain functions that human beings would have performed for you. And the cost that you pay to do the digitalization will be left. The initial cost will be expensive, but after that, you will not be paying monthly salaries. The way monthly salary can kill me. I have about 20 staffs. I wish I can pay them big things. But we are not things. Because the work we are doing, it doesn't pay so much. And even with the 20 staff, we are doing digitalization. Yes, we are 20. So you can imagine if you have not done that. So when you digitalize, it reduces your cost in a lot of things. And finally, digital transformation. Now, when you talk of digital transformation, it means that you are getting to the global world we are talking about, the innovation and the breakthroughs. Now, what it means is that a whole full form of your work is online. And you can also have a whole on-site. And to see that's where we are. At time will come when you enroll to do our work, we will not teach again. We are going to have all our lectures online. And then you go there, you register. Then at your own pace, you'll be learning. When you finish, you take exams. Once in a while, we have Zoom, listen to you, pump, but then it can be done. As I stand here, I'm thinking, wow. I started when I went to AIT to go and do my first degree. Second bachelor, when I was doing my period. If God wants to use you, when I was doing my PhD, second year in my PhD, I had to go back and do a first degree. But by then, I was teaching at the teacher training college. And that was the time the tech brought what we call Okay. Is it better now? All right. So, for me, first degree, I did basic education. Well, the first group that we did basic education, in the classroom at campus, people were laughing at us. The university had on course school there. And we were going it in the evening. And the class was another share. When people are going for lecture time, you are doing it in the evening after school. And I did 1 year before I got study leave. So that study leave period that in the morning, I was not going for lectures. I used that to study IT at virtual university. Those who went to AV. So it was there that I excelled. And then I got appointment. When I got a chance to teach principals at the university, I became an team. So I got principal. And I like to think that the principal saw that my teacher and he brought it to our class. And I started teaching. So the best teacher I was going to be using it. So I got ITR and I thought, let me do my master's. So during that time, there wasn't first. So I got my master's degree. My baby girl, so I know. And now I want to do my PhD. I will not be able to IT. I'll go to Canada. My husband tells me that I have to abandon it. Then I got the call for the counseling. After doing counseling, I got the big PhD. They said no. You have to go and do another master. So if you hear me, you see us 3%. And yesterday, a situation that forced me into it. So after I started my PhD, it was a CRT, then they brought that in. And I had masters in IT, but I didn't have bachelor's degree. The year they said they had IT, and now they said I was not qualified to teach at the technical because I don't have bachelor's degree. And I'll do my PhD. I said, I'll do it. I'll combine. So I went back to AIT to do first degree. I sat in the same room with my students. Maybe it didn't that I was a student. I wrote as a person. I was standing like, I'm there to provide them. So they saw my name in the graduation list. Because they believe they are architect teacher who has taught me like 10 years ago is doing it. Police, when the world brings you a challenge, you need to face it. That's how life is. I'm praying and hoping that in all this, as we learn next week, let us take every challenge that comes to our life and turn that challenge something useful. And that's what we counsel. We call appreciating. I'm ending with the spirit of appreciating inquiry. In your attempt to digitalize, or get digital transformation, you meet challenges. But when the challenge comes, appreciating inquiry says that in every challenge, there is a positive something to do. Let's look at the positive. Let's connect. Let's stop competition. And I believe that when we do that, we're able to get to a point that we all find. As I end, evaluate yourself. Where are you? Write down. What is your level? Are you at digital zero or digitalization or digital transformation? Please write it down. It's very simple. Write it down. I hope that when we meet God the next day, the same things to have this. At least you would have been at organization. If you are zero, you would have moved a step forward. On this note, colleagues, I stand here on behalf of our Almighty God who has called us into this profession. And on behalf of management of TUCEE, Institute of Counseling and Technology, and the staff, and on behalf of all of us, and I declare every 5th December, which is the Farmers' Day, I declare it as National Counsellors Networking and Summit Day. Thank you.
Please let's do it better. Let's do it better. Doc, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm sure you saw me carrying some papers. Some will think that we are coming to write exams, but that is not the case. We are coming to go through a mental health screening exercise. And what we'll do is we'll share the material with everyone. So this is the depression, anxiety, stress, healing, and DAS. We are using the DAS 21, so meaning 21 items. Then the DAS 42, which is the full version. But the 21 is also good. In our case, we don't want to have to go through 42 items. So we are using the 21 version. And this will assess for screen for any symptoms of depression, anxiety, or stress. So that by the time we leave here, we will have known what your stress level is, whether you have any anxieties lingering anywhere, and whether depression is knocking on your door. And once we do it it will serve the dual purpose of helping you as a counselor use it to screen your clients. So please, the TUCEE, if you can help me, please come, let's share. So please, QR code. Please bring 2 or 3 copies. Okay, so I believe we all have a copy now. So The DAS is an assessment it helps us to screen our clients for levels of depression, anxiety, and stress. So 3 different conditions at the same time. And that also makes your work a bit easier so that I don't administer maybe the perceived stress skill and then I go and administer the big depression skill and then anxiety skill. So I do all the 3 together. And what you do is to read the instructions. So please, you can write your name where the client's name is. You can use your initials or you can write your full name. And then today's date. So we read the instruction. So you read each statement and circle a number 0, 1, 2, or 3, which indicates how much the statement applies to you over the past week. So we are looking at the clients over the past week. So today is Friday. So you're looking from last week until now, within the past 1 week, how you have felt. Because they can report that one much easier than saying how you felt a month ago. So in the past week, how you have felt or whether the treatment applied to you. There are no right or wrong answers. Do not spend too much time on any statement. That is very important. You don't need to think or you don't need to think too much. If not, you will cancel and cancel and cancel what you choose. So the scale is rated on the following. When you circle 0, it means that that statement did not apply to you at all, never, in the past week. If you circle 1, it means that that statement applied to you to some degree or some of the time. So probably around 40% of the time you had that experience. If you circle 2, it means that it applied to you to a considerable degree or a good part of the time. So around 60% of the time, 70%, you experience that. And if you circle 3, it means that it applies to you very much or most of the time, 80%, 90% and above, you had that experience. So once we explain that to our client, in any case that the client cannot read English, then that means you will have to explain it in the language, the local language, so that they understand what each of the statements will mean. So we can go through it. So you start from number 1 all the way to number 21. You will see that there's a box, there's a portion where you have some black shaded boxes. That is not for you now. So where you will shade is where we have the N, S, 0, and A, the 1, 0, 1. So if you read number 1, I found it hard to wind down. What does it mean? I found it hard to relax. Or, when I get up and down, I'm stressed out and all that, I found it hard to relax or get myself to a state of relaxation. So you explain that if the client does not understand. So we'll do it together. Number 1, I found it hard to wind down. I found it hard to relax, to calm down, to rest myself. So if it's 0, never. 1, to some degree, about 30, 40%. 2, about 60%. 3, 80 and above. So most of the time, it's 3. Number 2, I was aware of dryness of my mouth. So you felt that your mouth was dry, it's like you were not really, so either you are not drinking enough water or you just feel dry in your mouth. I'm sure you've experienced that before. You might dry. Number 3, I couldn't seem to experience any positive feeling at all. So you were not feeling any joy, you were not happy. It's like laughter is far away from you. You couldn't experience any positive feeling at all. So if 0, if 1, if 2, if 3, we say. Number 4, I experienced breathing difficulty. Example, excessively rapid breathing. Breathlessness in the absence of physical exertion. So it's not like you go to the gym or you've done any difficult physical exercise, but you felt like you were struggling to breathe. If you had any experience like that, you say difficult to breathe. 5, I found it hard to work up the initiative to do things. So you lack any motivation to get up and do things that you need to do at work, at home. There's no energy to work or do things. Number 6, I tended to overreact to situations. So situations that on the normal you wouldn't have reacted, to react angrily, or you overreact to situations. Somebody greets you and it's like as if you are fighting with a person. 7, I experienced trembling in the hands. Example. So you were trembling out for no reason. It's like you are trembling and all. Either in your hands or 8, I felt that I was using a lot of nervous energy. So if you are asked to speak, it's like you are nervous, you are anxious, you are scared, sort of. All that you do is as if there's somebody putting pressure on you to do the thing. So a lot of nervous energy involved in the things that you were doing over the period. 9, I was worried about situations in which I might panic and make a fool of myself. So you were always worried, wondering if you will say something that will make people think you are a fool. It's like you are worried about things that can happen that will make you look like a fool. Yeah, maybe they say that, oh, your mass speech guy said, why do you need now? Because maybe this is your person. You are worried about situations in which you might panic or make a fool of yourself. Number 10, I felt that I had nothing to look forward to. That's really good. There's nothing to look forward to. You had no hope for anything good to come. Number 11, I found myself getting agitated. Getting agitated. That's all we're out. Getting agitated. Number 12, I found it difficult to relax. I found it difficult to relax, to rest, to calm myself, to relax. Number 13, I felt downhearted and blue. So I felt sad. So these are some of the items that you have to explain to the client. If they don't understand, they will ask. Some may not ask. So you should know that there are some of the items, if you get there, you should explain to them. If not, they will choose a wrong answer. 14, I was intolerant of anything that kept me from getting on with what I was doing. So you don't want any distraction. One who likes to focus and all, but within the week, it's like anything that would distract you. If you are on a call, somebody mentions your name, your child class, so anything that would interrupt whatever you are doing, you were intolerant of it. Number 15, I felt I was close to panic. I was close to panic. I was close to panic or panicking. Number 16, I was unable to become enthusiastic about anything. So nothing really excites you. Maybe you love music, but really music is not exciting. Football, nothing, makes you excited. 17. I felt I wasn't worth much as a person. First of all, I am useless. I felt there's nothing much that I am worth. 18. I felt that I was rather touchy. I said, I don't know how to explain it, but what everything you need, I'm sure you get it. 19. I was aware of the action of my hands in the absence of physical exertion. I was aware of the action of my heart in the absence of physical exertion. Example, sense of heart rate increase, heart missing a beat. So you can literally hear your heart beat. You can hear it, you can sense your heart is beating, although it's not done, it's not run or do anything, stressful or difficult. Number 20. I felt scared without any good reason. You felt scared without any good reason. You felt scared without any good reason. And the last one. I felt that life was meaningless. I felt that life was meaningless. So we are through to 21. Anyone who couldn't finish it, I'm sure we are all done. So now that we are done, how do you score it? So we've done the test administration. So you explain to your client, the client has understood the instructions, the client has gone through responding to it, how do you score? So you realize the boxes by it makes the work a bit easier or easier. The white space, so each of the lines, so item 1, the boxes by, you see, the first two are black, and then there's a white. So in the white spaces, you write what the client selected. So what you selected for number 1. Let's say you selected 2. Write 2 in the white space. The white space. The box on that particular thing. You write what you selected. Then you come to number 2. The white box there. You write what you chose. Number 3, the white box. So you write what you chose in the white boxes. In the white boxes. So in the white boxes, if you have any difficulty, you can raise your hand. Some you have attention. So you do that all the way to number 21. Whatever you chose to write in the white box. Okay, I think I see we are done. So once you are done, now on that box column, you will see DAS. The D is for depression, A is for anxiety, S is for stress. So all the white boxes under D, you add every score. So all the white boxes under D. So you add the score. So let's say 2. Number 3 is a white box. Number 5 is a white box. Number 10 is a white. So all the white boxes there. Add all the scores. So you add them up and you write the total at the totals column on that row. And that D, So number 3, number 5, number 10, number 13, 16, 17, and 21. They are all white boxes under impression. So you add your scores there. Then you move to anxiety. All the white boxes. You add every score there. Please doesn't make is that clear? So if you look at your boxes, this side, the one is said office use. Under D, the white boxes where you wrote some numbers there. Add all the numbers under that column and write the total down there. So 2 plus 3 plus, you add it and write the total. Then you come to A, all the white boxes there. You add and write it there. Then you come to S, all the white, you add everything and write the total. 1 plus 0 is no 1. So we are almost there. So you add, please don't worry, if you think you need calculator to add it. The goal is to get an accurate score, not to show your mathematical prowess. So if you need to use a calculator, you use it. Okay, I am sure we are done. So now that you are done, the totals, I mentioned from the beginning that we have the DAS 42, which is the full version. This is 1. So what it means is that whatever total score you had for D, depression, you multiply by 2. Whatever you had for A, you multiply by 2. Whatever you had for X, you multiply by 2. People were happy that the score is low. You don't know what is coming. So because the full version is 42, and in the 42, literally you have items that measure a particular statement. So in the totals, so let's say for total depression, you have 12. Under the 12, you write 24. If A, you had 9, under the 9, you write 18. Multiply the 9 by 2. If S, stress, you had 30. Under 30, write 26. So the actual score is the one you have multiplied by 2. Please understand. So we are saying that, yes, so see where you want the two counts. Under 8, if you have space there, you can write it there. So you do the multiplication by 2 and write it under 8. If your handwriting is bigger, you don't have a space, then unless you come and write it at the back, so on top of depression, you can write the actual total on top of it. So the box where you see the scores will need to be multiplied by 2. You can write it there, anxiety and stress. If you don't have space down there. Well, I think we should all write it here so that it makes it also easy for you. So your total, the actual total for depression, come and write it here. So depression, turn the page and write it there. Anxiety, your actual total, write it there at the top there, on top of anxiety. Stress, you also write your actual total. For those who have things above, coming to examine with you. So once you have done that, if you turn the, please let's turn the page. So all the things we said about multiplying by 2 and all that, you see it there. So later you can go and read it. So now we have 4. What does it mean? We are coming to interpret. I wish I could read one person's story. Who was so this is from one of us.
This one, the client has consented that we should break confidentiality.
Okay, so he has accepted that we use his phone, and so for him, the depression total. Let me check it. Okay. All right. So the depression total is 40, anxiety 16, stress 40. So what does this mean? We have screened. We have done just like they go. So you need to tell the clients, let them understand that just as they go to the hospital, and sometimes they tell them to go to the lab and do a test. And based on that, they are able to identify what's happening. It's the same thing you have done. So now what does it tell them? 14. You will see that 14 falls within the range under depression. You see some ranges there. 14 to 20, that is moderate. So that means in terms of depression, and typically we say depression, the person is feeling helpless, hopeless, and worthless. And in some extreme cases, the person becomes suicidal. But you see hopelessness, helplessness, and worthlessness. So in this case, it's moderate. It does not mean he's safe. It does not also mean that he's in trouble, but we need to pay attention. Later, you will see what I'm doing. From anxiety, 16, and that is from 15 to 19, that range. So when you look on that lane, that's severe anxiety. Then stress, 14, that one is on the first range, which is normal. 80, please don't mix them up. So the ranges here, you correspond it with normal, mild, moderate, severe, extreme. So wherever the client's total falls, you connect it to whether the level. So in this case, depression, moderate, anxiety, severe, stress, normal. Very interesting. Now, after seeing his level, what does that tell me as a counselor? I need to now go back to the items. Anxiety is severe. Why is it severe? So I go back to this items anxiety. The white boxes. You see the white boxes under anxiety. When you go to the first white box, 2, I was aware of dryness of my mouth. He selected 2, meaning that applied to him to a considerable degree. 19, action of my heart. He selected 2. That also means it was considerably happening to him. The other ones, except 15, he chose 1. So to some degree, he was experiencing those. So you realize that if you sum up some of these things that he is experiencing, it gives you an idea of what is happening. Then we can go further to ask the questions that we need to ask. Whether he has been drinking water or not. So that it rules out the fact that he's not drinking water, that's why the mouth is dry. These are how we get it. If we go for the depression, we can now count into the items and check. Especially number 5. He selected, I found it difficult to work up the initiative to do things. And one of the symptoms of depression is the lack of motivation. So then we probe it. What exactly is happening? How does it feel? Whether it's able to go to work and all those things. So you realize that the skill would have helped you to identify the person's level of 3 key conditions that are common: depression, anxiety, stress. And based on the level they are on, you can go and see what exactly is happening. Once you go into it, sometimes you may find it's an academic issue. Then maybe you understand that anxiety is maybe exam-related anxiety. They are in exam week. That is why anxiety level is so high. So it is test anxiety. Then you can give intervention that will address that kind of anxiety. This client I currently handling, that was depression is extreme, anxiety severe, and stress was also extreme. And she had lost somebody close to her. And over the past 2 years, she's been struggling to move on. And so, as we were probing, you get to understand why the depression level was very high. Because that person was like all in all. So you understand the hopelessness, the feeling of being helpless. So the test is supposed to do what in the hospital, the lab results will help the doctor to determine and intervene. And the DAS is one of the simplest interviews. And we are encouraging us as counselors to use it as much as it is necessary per client. So that, and this depression, anxiety, stress, they are comorbid. They usually go together. So someone who is anxious, you may find some stress in there. Someone who is depressed, you may find some stress in there. So when we administer it at once, we are able to identify what exactly is going on with our client. In this case, his stress level is normal. It does not mean that he has no stress at all. The negative stress, this stress at all. No. Because if you check under stress, he selected 2, 4, 8. I felt that I was using a lot of nervous energy. So a considerable number of times he's working as if he's under some pressure. Meanwhile, there's no pressure. So we need to probe that one as well. And then we provide the necessary information. Once you are done with it, then you can keep it as the counselor. If you want and you have a photocopier machine, you can photocopy and give the client a copy. Or yes, you can digitize it. And so I was speaking with our IT personnel that we need to also digitize it so that some of these ones we don't need to do paperwork. Thank you. Any question? I hope it's very clear. All right. Thank you. So we go on a break. The time is 10:28. We want to do a 10-minute break. Oh, okay, there's a question.
Where are you?
So there's 42, which are 42 items or statements. Then there is the shorter version, which is that 21, which we use, which are 21 items. The psychometric properties are similar because in essence, you can say that in the 42, let's say we are using 2 items to measure one thing. But in 21, we are using 1 to measure the same thing. But in the 21, when you are scoring, multiply by is not. So if I ask, I'm sad, and you tell me yes, and somewhere again I ask you, are you not happy? And you say yes, it's the same thing. So in the 42, you would have answered those two things. But in 21, you answered 1. Please out there.
Thank you. And you're well done for predicting. You predicted the second
part of the question. Okay. Thank you. Please.
So, assuming you have disabled all 2,
Okay.
what is the information? How should body coming to You keep doing business, at the end of the day, all the assets are zero. What is the?
Okay, that's great. You want to answer? Okay. You want to answer? Okay, please get the answer.
Thank you so much. It means that you have not identified yourself. Anyone who identifies yourself will definitely go through a sort of anxiety, depression, or stress. And if you are not careful, before you don't die.
Okay, so in addition to that, then it's rare. It's very rare. But in any case, to get that, then you need to be sure that the client understood the statements. So you go over it with the client. Sometimes as you go over it, then they will say, now there's a little, but it's selected everything. It's not okay. You should have selected one. So you can go over it. But in any case, in the behavioral sciences, there's no 0 points. There's no practical point of 0. Whatever, if you have 0, there's still something there. And we love to it.
Yes, please. The standardized item.
Yes.
And you have develop your own item to suit the situation.
That's great. So in psychological assessment, we use standardized tests. This is standardized. You may adapt it, meaning that let's say the statement on I felt downhearted. You may decide to make it I felt sad because it will help your clients understand it better. But if you decide that you want to come up with your own skill, that will go through a lot of psychometric testing and standardizing and all that.
The reason is that sometimes you find people in different situations. Like we have standardized one that we do all over the world. But I look at the situation in Ghana. We have marital issues, economic issues from all over. Maybe the person might not find what is friendship. So looking at as you develop your own, that was where you find yourself.
There are various other instruments for measuring assessing for anxiety, depression, and all. But if you look at the statements, you will notice that they are looking at specific symptoms. So whether it's marital or academic, trembling is trembling. I hope that's fine. If you are sad, sadness is sadness. Whether it's so it's mentioning specific symptoms, irrespective of your condition. So if it's you, the counselor, that will know what exactly is being
Thank you. training days, we have done it here and we have digitized it. Those of us who went to see somewhere 2016, 2017, remember we did training on it for you, and it was hard copy. I remember that time when we were going to do the training, we brought hard copy. People were complaining, you see, the member of these students, and then you are giving it to everybody to have access to. And by you don't give it to people, that was our use. They are here to share. So we decided to teach and then share. But alongside, we had a problem. The problem we had was that when it comes to the situation and then the time, people are not present to buy. So it appeared that the psychometric was not working well. So we decided to digitize it. So now when you answer, there's no human calculation. The algorithm or the aspects of calculate everything and give it the result. So that's what we wanted you to have as a so those who answered. Now from the students own of 100 something percent, we are getting 36 or 38, and it's still valid. Just we did the dance. So it's very valid. And we have used that to help, we use it to help in counseling or screening individuals. So you can use it to screen individuals. You can also use it to screen couples. A lot of people coming to marry. There is all that you have. You can use it to find out their personalities. If you remember, Holland. So Holland has divided all the human beings into 6 main groups. I will remember. If you don't remember, I remind you. So it says, yeah, realistic. Say, realistic. Investigative. Artistic. Social. Enterprising. Conventional. Now, for those who say they want the resources, we have explained it to details. Now, when you receive your psychiatric results, you realize that there's a brief definition or description of who they are, the various ones. So when the client comes, aside the dance, you can also use this to screen. And each of them can be one dominant. Each person belongs to one dominant group. So the realistic, your honor said, and we have also chosen and confirmed that realistic people are doers. So realistic is a doer. Realistic is all right. Now, investigative is a thinker. Investigative is artistic is a creator. Artistic. Social is a helper. Social. Enterprising is persuader. Enterprising. Then conventional is an organizer. Conventional. So we are going to sing. Will you sing? My voice is gone, I will sing. So it's this way. Realistic, I'm a doer. Investigative, I'm a creator. Artistic, I'm a creator. Social, I'm a helper. Enterprising, I'm a persuader. Conventional, I'm an organizer. No happiness, speaking the voice. All right, so the males will shout and then the females will respond. So the males will mention the male personality types and the female will mention all the strengths. So the male will do it. Starting from realistic.
Listen.
Will respond. So ready, go. Let's have our country. How do you connect? I just made it that way. So that if you don't get the material to read, you remember that apart from now you hear me talk about 10 bracket, 10 bracket, 10 bracket. It's okay. Now let's explore the other one. And this is personality psychometric based on John Holland's theory. So John Holland says that everyone here will have a very dominant personality. So when you take the screening, you realize that you have a dominant personality. Now, if you're a realistic person, it's likely you will pick a trait from investigating and conventional. These are we there. So when you take your dominant personality, the other personality that form, your right side and your left side, you borrow from them. Please, you get it. In the same way, if an artist, you realize that you go from social and investigative. And this theory, you can also use it to help people their career. And it is one of the things that is really damaging our society. People have issues with career. So when you run the psychometric test, it comes with a career type, it comes with a dominant career, and even the courses that have to do with the university. Those who have received your results, don't know if you have seen that. Wisdom will come and do a brief presentation on that. So please, because we have digitized it, you have to subscribe. We are here to think about how much you pay for the subscription. But trust me, it's not anything that will kill, not at all. But in the first place, we didn't want to give it back. That's why we did it, and then we gave it out. But because of the errors that people are introducing, if you don't digitize it and prevent the errors, it will go against it. That's why we are digitizing. And still, we'll give you the training. When you subscribe, we'll still give you much more training so you can use it. So the only parents come, you don't just stop. You must read the client to find out the client's personality. When people are coming to marry, compatibility issues, we don't identify their compatibility, incompatibility, and tell them that you are realistic and you can't marry social. Indeed, if a realistic person marries a social person, there is chaos. When you know realistic people, they are doers. They don't like following people. They don't like friends. So if you find a realistic person and you close your check, he or she will quickly go and sit in the car waiting for you. And if you are social like me, you'll be hugging everybody, you'll be holding everybody, and your realistic husband will be waiting. Before you finish the handle, you go to sit down. You start fighting from the church. Before you get home, that is if you don't know the person's personality. So when people are coming from pre-marriage counseling, or when people have marital issues, we first of all scan them using this segment. They will be able to know their incompatibility or compatibility. Then we fool them, we psycho-educate them, so that we don't become like motivational speakers. Motivational speakers use analysis for counseling. Okay, and analysis, and about now Korean. We don't talk now. We use data. We use what? And so we need to speak. So this, that's the other. Then the second one is TUCEE. The second one that we need to look at it is using the psychometric result also to guide career. But before that, I would want us to, this is where I'll end. I would want us to watch this. The employment concept as we go on with our career. Please, in Ghana here, it appears we are able to differentiate between the various career paths, and that creates a problem. That is why most of our graduates would finish school, go to that and finish university before they go around with brown envelope looking for work to do. Let our clients know after we have screened through the psychometric will give the result. You will know the person's career path. So if you screen someone and you identify that the person probably is a doer. A doer is a realistic person. They work in emergencies. They are very good with their hands. Then right away, you realize that the person is talented to do that. They do that easy. So the next stage you need to take them is to make sure that they start working. They don't need to finish school. Now, work in counsel and their employable skills is any bodily and legally activity that brings income or satisfaction. Work. So, as counselors, we need to engage our students, our community members, our clients. Those of us from the school, secondary school, and basic school, please, our students can work right from class 5. They can work. It's not charitable. So let's find out their talent and then turn their talent into work. And I said, work is anybody or legal activity that works gives you income or satisfaction. So if the person is a doer, when they are on vacation, we should stop disturbing them from going for vacation classes. They should go and learn. They should go to the industry. They should go to the community. And the skills that we have identified, let's give them a sign. Students can start repairing shoes. They can start with mechanic work. Let's get them have experience. It's high time we stop our students after they have learned all the tech, and then they don't have teacher classes. So we get people with good sense, but their hands are weak and their hearts are weak. We want to introduce this. And if they're able to do this, by the time they finish their university, there will be nothing like unemployed association of unemployed graduates. That's what they are looking for their president. If you know them, please refer them to me. Seriously, I want to lead them and then help them come out of that association. Because it's not a good association. Association of unemployed graduates. People unemployed graduates, what are you doing with your hands? But we can't blame them. For we counselors, they have failed them. We need to tell them that right from their lower level, they can start. Some sing very well. They can start singing. So that is quick. Now, as we help them build the work, let us help them turn their work into a career. Turn their work into what? A career. Now listen, career is anywhere that carries you through till you die. Career is anywhere. Now you know how to work. We know how to work is. So anywhere that you do that carry you to grave is a career. So counseling is a career. But teaching is not a career. Being into military is not a career. Nursing is a career. Now, seamstress is a career. And what that when you do, the government will not retire, cannot retire. It's a career. And even if the government retires you, you still have the ability to use that to work till you die. That's career. Please declare. So if you are working with at any place, and your work, when they retire you, then that's the end. Please look for a career. And if you're a counselor, you already have a career. How do you get it? Because when they retire you as a teacher, when you retire, if by God's grace you have not established a school for yourself, and there's you or whatever, what are you going to do? Are you going to change the ticket tonight and go and buy clothing and come and put it on the table and sell? Please, I know. That's why you're a counselor. So right now, start putting up ideas. Register your counseling consultants. Register. You see, we have trained some people and they've even established training schools. And we are happy with it. We are not the only people who can train. You can also build yourself, get license, get all that you need. Go to see who help you. You also have we help them. You can establish school and put you in jail and train people there. They all need to come to see. Are we making some sense here? So build a career for yourself. Hello. Let's have our seat. You can enter into pastry. You can enter into this is what we need to tell our clients. So they don't need to wait till they finish school. Now, once able to get a career, if it is possible, then let them get their career to become a profession. Hello? It's not every career that's a profession. I mentioned that seamstress, like also technique, history, they are career. You can do it in that. But I don't know, I didn't have professional, but most of them is not another profession. Now, a work that turns into a profession is that work that you have a regulatory body. Hello, you have a regulatory body. I remember those days somewhere in 2008 when I was consulting with the Ministry of Education and GES. I was always fighting. I'm part of those who pushed down and then we brought National Teaching Council. Because until National Teaching Council came in, GES, who were the employers of teachers, were also the regulators. But if you are an employer and a regulator, how can you put your name? How do you get it? That's what the counselors, our regulator is Ghana Psychology Council. And our employers are the various schools and organizations. So if you are working and you are working, you have a governing body, you license, and the governing body protects you. Then now you are a professional. Most of us here are certificated counselors because we've done the course and we have the certificate, but we are not professional. We don't want to license. Me, by God, grace, I'm licensed. I have international license. And God, from next year, all members of the Ghana National Association of Certificated Counselors, we are getting them on international license. So that if you travel anywhere, you can be in Ghana, you can be anywhere, because you have the international license. Therefore, good child in town. How do you get it? So, consciously, at times, for people, some of us in there, now, they just come home, and how I like their money to renew. Oh, dollars are not if you are professional. It's 350 for the whole year. If you join the association, I think it's 260 or so for the whole year. If you have your PIN and you put your PIN on the CD and then you go digital and then you put there, people will call. Now to see we are doing this. Again, those of us who have been with us GNS, we are looking at the I-Council team. We started in 2017. I'm not going to say I'm going to learn. But I told you, what is our when we put all licensed counselors online with your credential. So when people want counseling, they'll just go to look at your year of experience, your P, and then they will call you. You won't take anything from you. So you need to get your career into a profession by license. And once it's a profession, before you get a job. Now, a job is a position that is given to you at your workplace based on your profession or your career. Hello. So job is a position. So you can be a professional teacher, but your job is headmaster. Your job is district director. Your job is chemistry teacher. That one is job. It describes what you do. So now you see our problem. As students finish school, they don't have work, they don't have career, they don't have profession, and they are looking for job. How do you get a job? What is every getting it? And it's our duty as counselors to give them this education. That before you finish even person, you need to get into some career, which you are meant to get person and get into a profession. Once you have a profession, you can always venture. Hello. And finally, let's also encourage them that when God blesses you, you have work, you have career, you have profession, you have job. You must also have a vocation. You should have a way that you practice your skills. That you don't. It's not everything that you need to take money. We must learn to do things for people for free. We must learn to support others. The Bible says that those who strong men should carry those who are weak. So please, whatever little thing that you are doing, find a way of making your work useful to other people without taking money. That's a vocation. And the vocation only gives you satisfaction. You see people getting healed, and you are satisfied. You can establish an NGO, community NGO. You see, we have an NGO. This program, we are running to the NGO. So most of the things that we are paying, we took the money for TUCEE Institute, the one that we take money, and then we use it to support it. So that at least the council we can also be a few good, that's where it can be fine. May God bless us all. As we bless you. Thank you. Please, do you have any questions? Okay.
But most of the time, when you are feeling poor, they ask for occupation. So, I think it's going for that one.
Now, occupation is any work that you occupy yourself with that gives you money. You get it? So that's occupation. So your occupation can also be your profession. So truly, ideally, that form that we fill, the question that must be there is your profession. Especially if it's coming from the corporate world, it's your profession. So when you come to some of the poor country, you see occupation, profession. Because your job is the title. So is it a good title? So that's why you have to have job and job description. So your title and what you need to do with your title. And now there's a mistake from the beginning. Example.
Should I write counselor? Should I write teaching, counseling?
Exactly. I don't believe self for instance. I'm a professional teacher. I'm a professional counselor as well. Yeah, so when the guy right there teaching stroke, but that's my profession. Yeah. And then if they put the occupation, depending on where it's coming from and where I'm going, I put the author or counselor. So it depends on where the CV is going, then you position yourself there. All right. Any other? Okay. Thank you so much. I have to leave you for a moment. I'll come back soon. God bless you. I love you. God guide you.
Please, if you are clapping, clap. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We release some neurochemicals that will make you feel good and your body will have you. Alright, so at this point, we want to have a brief discussion. So those who completed the form, the psychometric test, we are coming to go through it. Let me project this. Just give me a minute. Please, how many of us completed that test? Those who registered, you received a psychometric test to complete. Okay, that's fine. So, for those who couldn't, we'll just follow with us. Let's see on your screen, psychometric test completed. Okay. All right. So we have so once you completed. So those who completed it would have received your results. So you check your email. You didn't get it. So once you are done with the test, after some few seconds, the result is shown. Please, who are those who got the result? Yes. So maybe later, those you didn't get the test. You did the registration. So I understand there are some who had a difficulty taking the payment directly when you were doing the registration. So you use the code. Those who use the code, the information was that you contact us and then the developer will find a way of getting you to receive the test because it was connected to the system directly. So please, if you need to receive yours, so no problem. Let's go through it. When we are done, those who did not get yours, You just get in touch with us and then we will sort it out so that you can see it. Thank you. So our dignitaries from the IT who have joined us to see what is happening here. And then we will do it together. So we have the TUCEE personality psychometric test. And like God mentioned, we use it for personality assessment, which will inform a lot of things, whether it's marriage, career, academic choices. So when we take the test, this is the results that you will get. And from the results, you will see the personalities are ranked from 1 to 6. So the 6 personality types that John Holland spoke about. So in this particular case, for Senna, who has completed the test online, you, the counselor, your interest is what the dominant personality is. And that means that the personality type that is ranked 1, number 1. So we are working on something so that we will get the dominant maybe second. But the dominant personality is number 1. So in the case of Senano, the dominant personality of Senano is conventional. This is what it means. Personality typically refers to how you consistently think, feel, and act. So who you are. So for each one of us, you may borrow certain traits from different personality types. So somebody may be a social personality, according to Holland, but may borrow, like God explained earlier, may borrow from enterprising, borrow some traits. So if you are not careful, you will say that this person, I know the person is a very entrepreneurial person, the person's personality type is enterprising. But another person knows the person as a conventional, quiet, reserved person because of the traits they exhibit in different situations. But there's the one that is the actual, the core, that is the dominant personality. So in the ranking, number 1 is the highest, the dominant personality. So conventional for this particular client, followed by realistic, then 10 is social, 4 enterprising, 5th investigating, and then the 6th artistic. And knowing this person, I agree with the result. Anyone who will know him, I'm sure since the day they don't have seen him. He's a very quiet person. He's our system developer. He wants to be his honor and work with the machine and sort things out. And he likes a lot of structure. So the conventional personality as dominant, followed by realistic, makes sense. So if the client gets the results, your interest is the number 1, which is the dominant. We have all the theory code and the practical code. So in the probing that later we do, in the practical code, what it means is that you look at the client's results here. So you have conventional, realistic, social. So what is practically him is that he is dominant conventional, then he borrows traits from realistic and social. So when I'm trying to help this client to understand himself or herself better, I go down here. So let's read for conventional. I wish we can read together, but conventional personality. Let's go. Hooray! You have a conventional personality and can be described as an organizer. You are disciplined, detail-oriented, and thrive in structured environments. You take pride in doing things accurately and efficiently, especially when it comes to organizing information or people. Your love for order and precision makes you highly effective in administrative or analytical roles. in time. So for this particular client, when he reads it, like I said, I know him. So it's perfectly meets who he is. And then we can, in some instances, when they read it and they say, but doesn't really, then we move to the second one, realistic. So we read the realistic as well. Hooray! You are a realistic person. That is wonderful. You can be called a doer because you like doing practical work. You are a great practically minded person. You like work on plants, animals, gadgets, equipment, and machines. You always focus on your tasks and you don't want distraction from people. Rather, you make things happen. This is also really describing the center I'm talking about. Is that okay? And as a system developer, software person, all the time behind a laptop, coding, if you are not oriented in this direction, and you are a social personality, dominant social. When you do small, go do small, no, you can't finish coding. So this is him. And so if we, like God mentioned, if you look at a person's dominant personality and you read it, then you find out from them whether this describes them. And we are saying that the first three give you the practical proof. So the dominant in the middle, then the second and third on the side. We have the theory proof, which is where, when you look at the pyramid that Doc shared, this one. For someone who is conventional, this is where the person is. The person will borrow from realistic on the two immediate sides. Will borrow from realistic and what? Enterprising. So what theoretically will be his three combinations, the dominant, conventional, then he borrows traits. So you see some traits of realistic, hands-on, practical, tangible work, and then also enterprising. That's theoretically what it should be. But practically, it is conventional. Yes, he borrows from realistic, but his other borrowing, the traits, is from social. Meaning that if he meets people, he's able to relate well, but it is not his thing to be so out there. These are all together. So in discussing with the client, we look at what the theory code is. Yes, your dominant is conventional, but then you also borrow traits from realistic and ideally from enterprise. But in practical terms, in real life, your conventional, you are borrowing traits from realistic. So meaning if we want to align you to a particular career path or even marriage pattern, then we have to be careful to see what your traits are. So for people that are conventional, we have seen that the person is an organizer, is disciplined, detail-oriented, thrives in structured environments, wants accuracy and efficiency, likes organizing information and people, likes a lot of order and precision. So if this person has a partner who is social, what is social? Hooray! You have a social personality and can be described as a helper. You genuinely care about people, about others, and are driven by a desire to make a positive impact in people's lives. Your energy, empathy, compassion, and sociability are your strengths, and they allow you to connect easily and meaningfully with those around you. Then this person, this partner, aside the social and dominant, the person is borrowing from enterprising. You are an enterprising personality and can be described as a persuader. You are confident, ambitious, and skilled at influencing others. You realize that these are contrasting people. One wants to be alone, to work on things, realistic, conventional. Order. The other is, hey, everybody come, let's go. Let's be excited. Let's persuade people. This one says, me, I don't want to persuade people. If you do it, do it. So now you, the counselor, your role is to help them to understand the other personality and also understand themselves and see where they can coexist or where they can adjust here and there. If it is not possible for them to compromise, then that marital union will not start. Because if you go out, one person wants to meet everybody, the other person wants to leave as soon as possible. If the car is one, how do you move? One is in the car, waiting. The other one wants to meet everybody that came. If it's a career, angle, when we are using it for career purposes, choosing academic programs, those within the school environment, or even your children, what will help children, young people to choose their courses. You will see that under detailed area analysis, under realistic, we have technical, agri, manufacture. So if someone is realistic, dominant, the first one is realistic, then you come to realistic. That means that the person will do well in certain areas of program that are technical, involve practical, hands-on, those technical programs, So if it's senior high school or a teamwork program, they are going to do sewing and all those ones, they go and take them. Some too, it's agri. So if it's agriculture related, program, they go in there. Then there's a manufacturing aspect as well. So the engineering, programs, and then the production programs and all. If you are dealing with a client who is realistic dominant, then we'll have to discuss and find out further which of the areas they are interested in. Because the personality assessment will tell you the orientation. But somebody who is unrealistic may be interested in agri more than auto mechanics or something. This is how we get it. There are also, for instance, when it comes to the bit about artistic, let's say my dominant is artistic. But you realize that in terms of the things I love doing, I love talking, I love speaking to people, going for programs and then all that. So when you come to artistic, there's entertaining, there's fine arts, and there's communication. So someone may be artistic, but DS is not for singing and dancing and drama and acting. DS is for journalism. So an artistic journalist, how they work will be different from someone who is maybe an investigative personality and a journalist. So you put two journalists to investigate a matter. The one whose personality is investigative, they do a better job at getting to the bottom of the matter than the one who is artistic. Because their personality influences how they do things. These are all that. The investigative personality likes asking a lot of questions. They like probing. They will probe and probe and probe. And so if you find yourself on Mark Sanders, if he's interviewing you, you cannot careful, you get angry at a point. But another journalist will interview you, 1, 2, and then is that. But there are some journalists who want to go and go. If you are not careful, you get angry. So the personality orientation may be the same, but the different aspects are what you see in the test. So this is the TUCEE personality psychometric test. If you are using it for marriage, you use it in that angle. For career development, you use it that way. Friendships, teams, in church, in school, in the mosque, anywhere. You want to form teams, marketing team, evangelism team, or you want to form any kind of committee. You want to look at the personality orientations, you can administer it. So that I make sure that there's somebody in the team who is a persuader. Hello. Somebody in the team who is a realistic personality. Somebody who is investigating. At least there will be a mix. So that when the work is not being done, the social personality will know how to talk to the people and rally them to do the work, because the social personality cares about how people feel. Not maybe the realistic one who will say something and it will hurt them because he or she is not really comfortable relating with it. So in every area, it's something that you can use the person for. And I don't know, for those who took it, who can tell us their dominant? Those who took the test. Yes, sir, what was your dominant? Enterprising. Okay. What were you? Accountant. You are accountant. Oh, okay. So yours falls under artistic communication. What's the second? You can check it. Social, okay, marketer who knows how to relate well with people. The customer is king. So if you are not a social personality, you will think that you are the king. So, okay, the third one. Conventional, okay, so the proper movements and all that. That's one. Any other person? Yes. Okay, all right. Please, I didn't ask you that. Say at the back. Is that yes? Does it fit you? Not your what? Okay, that's great. Please let's stop there. Yes, then our social. Looking for the rest. Okay, all right.
My first is artistic. Second, enterprise. Third, social. Yes.
What were you? Oh, okay. Which level? Oh, okay. Which level? RMU for now. Oh, okay. So make that that is fine. So, like Doc mentioned, we've used the test on thousands of people, and almost more than so we can give a confidence level of 95%. And so when you administer it, what is important is that with all tests, we need to move further. And like I've explained, the personality orientation, they are some areas. So somebody may be social, but their interest is in protecting people. So if it's career related, then they go into that direction of the security services and all. If the person's own is health, taking care of people, then the nursing, social work, counseling, and all that will be part of their own. So health service and welfare services. Please, any question has to be wrapped up. Any question? I hope it's like how do you subscribe? Okay, so we'll talk about the subscription and the amount. We are working out something, so we'll talk about the subscription. So what we are considering are on 3 levels. So those who would want to, anytime you have a client or you want to administer it to a client or a group of people, you just go on there and then input their details and do it as a one-time thing in pay. Or you subscribe for the year. So that's what happens for some applications. So you subscribe for a year. So you know that and usually the yearly subscription is way lower than if you are doing it as and when. Or you do a monthly subscription. So depending on the kind of counseling work you do, there are some who get cases almost every day. So for you, it will be better to do a yearly subscription so that you have the advantage of the discount. Or if you think yours is once in a while, then maybe the ask and when will do or the money. So we'll work it out and then we'll let you know on the platform before the week ends. Please, any other? So I'm saying that we are considering 3 options and we are working on it. So I don't want to give you any exact information that it changed. So we are looking at a yearly subscription. So I can decide I'm going to almost 6 cases every day. So that means that you go for the yearly subscription. But for someone who sees cases maybe once in a week, you may not need the yearly because it comes as and when. So you go for the as and when subscription. So when I need, then I pay, then I get my results. Or you do the monthly. So we are considering that we'll put the structure together, then we'll let you have. So just like you made the payment and you got the test, you'll set it up such that those who subscribe maybe for the yearly one, you just go in there anytime you need to access, you log in and then you have access to it. So we'll give you the full breakdown and the steps to follow. The pricing will also come with it. Please allow that. We need to maintain the software, the system. So there will be some cooking you will be paying. Any other question? All right. So at this point, we'll end this session here. If there's any need for clarity later, you can contact us and we'll explain. So we'll be breaking into groups. These who are the school counselors here, or you are a counselor working within a school environment. Okay, you have a good number. Those within the religious environment. You are a pastor, imam, elder, you work as a counselor within the religious centers. Okay. Then those who work in a corporate or private facility. So in the hospital, in the clinic, in the counseling center. So corporate environment. I see here, this or you don't need to the bank. It's the bank or the bank, they don't need them. Okay. So those within the corporate environment or you work in an organization and you are a counselor. So we don't have them. Okay, there are a few here. And then the last group, those who are not trained counselors. You work as a counselor in any of the areas, but you are not yet trained. You know, there are people who are counselors, but they're not professionally trained. Maybe you will be trained in another area, but not like a professional counselor. Okay, there are a few around. Okay. So we'll be getting into groups. So those who are within the school environment, please will take the first group, the first column. The first column. Those within the religious environment, you take the second. Those in the corporate environment, in organizations, you be the third column. So you just turn your chairs around and then you are going to do. Then the last group, you're on train, you will take the last column. Maybe I should have even take down because you're all you take this one. So please let's quickly move. So school counselors, religious environment,
Religious here. We have
then we can make all here. So religious second, so please join them. The first group are the counselors.